Hello and welcome to Shoot the Hostage with me, Dan, and my partner, Sarah. We're a movie podcast and we cover 8 films per season based on a specific theme. It is worth noting that we do occasionally swear, open brackets, very often swear, close brackets. We also occasionally cover triggering topics, so we would always advise using listener discretion and probably don't listen around your kids. If you like what we do and want to support us, please consider hitting 5 stars on Spotify or maybe subscribing or even reviewing on your platform of choice. We also have a Patreon with a free tier for lineups and updates and 2 paid tiers with extra content and early ad-free episodes. Right, that's enough from me. On with the show. All right, so we're back. This week we are diving into Black Swan.
Diving. I see what you did there.
Is a swan diving. Is that the connection we're making here?
Okay,
What?
so that was unintentional.
What's a swan dive?
Let's not get into that.
It's our second Darren Aronofsky film. Having
Yeah,
covered
it is.
Requiem for a Dream back in season 12
Drugs.
for Drugs. Aye. It's our second Natalie Portman movie.
Shit, is it?
Mm.
Oh no.
Early. Think early.
Early? How early? We've not done Leon.
Season 3, I think it was.
Oh, early in our podcasting career.
Yeah.
I see.
So, yeah, but also early for Natalie Portman as well.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Mars Attacks.
Yes, that was it. It was a tricky one because she's barely in that movie.
And everybody else is also in that movie, so it's kind of hard to pick out any one cast member from that.
Yeah, it's got Tom Jones in it.
Yeah, sure does.
You've seen this one before.
Mm-hmm. Not for a long time.
When was it? Did you see it upon release?
No.
Excited Sarah run into the cinema to go and see this movie about ballet?
Nope. Timothée Chalamet and I have that in common. I also don't really care about ballet. No, I'm less of a jackass about it though. I can appreciate the art form, but it's not for me, you know?
Agreed.
No, it was on my radar. Obviously, I'd already seen, I was aware of Aronofsky and there was so much buzz around it. But I think it was one of those instances where, you know, like if people constantly tell you to watch a thing.
Yeah, very
and you're
familiar,
like,
yeah.
I'll watch this thing in my time, thank you.
Yeah, now I don't want to watch it because everyone's saying that I need to watch it.
Yeah.
I get that.
So I did put it off for a few years. And then watched it, I don't know, probably about 2013.
Okay. Yeah, because it's 2010, so 3-year gap.
About that, yeah.
So after 3 years, you decided, right,
enough time has
demonstrated
passed.
how much I protest against being told what to do. Sufficient time has passed.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to watch the film.
I've been stubborn. Now I can
Have
enjoy
you?
the thing.
You have been stubborn.
No.
Oh, you've had 3 years of stubborn.
Yeah.
That's enough stubborn, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. just a short 36 months of your life.
Yeah.
It's like 10% of your life at that point.
Oh, shush. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was one of those where it's like, fuck. Yeah, everybody was right. Okay.
Yep.
I'll eat my words.
Yep. I had a similar experience and a film I was going to bring up anyway in relation to this film with Whiplash. Everyone was telling me it was brilliant and like I need to watch it, and I couldn't be bothered, and I watched it. I was like, yeah, all right, fair enough. This is a brilliant film.
I've seen a few people make the comparison between the two. They'd make quite a good double bill, I think.
I think so.
Intensity, but good.
Yeah. One of them's got J.K. Simmons in it. The other one hasn't, which is a markdown for this one.
But one of them has Miles Teller in it, so they're back at even Stevens.
Fair enough. This was a first time watch for me.
Yeah.
I would say prior to a couple of years ago, I had only seen a couple of Aronofsky films.
Which ones?
Well, the first one I'd seen was Pi, because I remember that coming out and thinking, oh, that looks like a bit of me. Person goes mad about numbers or something. And I watched it and I really liked it. And then I don't think I watched much really. until I watched The Fountain around 6-7 years ago, I think.
Did you enjoy that one?
Really liked that. I know it's quite divisive, and I guess a lot of his work is quite divisive. It's sort of can be on the extreme side, I think, and he's not afraid to explore incredibly dark themes, and in a way that like psychological aspects relate to the body and can often result in a kind of a body horror situation as well.
Yeah.
So I can understand his films not being for everybody, and I think they can be quite divisive. But I think The Fountain, a lot of people would just found it quite silly, from my understanding.
I'll be honest, I don't remember a great deal about that. I know it is divisive. I know one of my friends absolutely loves it, and he was definitely in the minority.
Yeah.
Remind me.
It's too much to go into. It's
Never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I don't necessarily want to spoil it and go into it, but maybe it'll land on a season at some point. I don't know.
Okay.
'Cause I do find him an interesting filmmaker to think about and talk about, even though I am relatively new to his movies, I guess. Requiem for a Dream was a first time watch for me when we covered that a couple of seasons ago, and I'm enjoying sort of thinking about his filmography and catching up with some of that.
We also watched The Wrestler the other night. That was the first time for you as well.
Yes, very happy to have seen that. Yeah, I think it was a good shout to watch that in a similar time frame to watching this. I think they go very well together.
Yeah, I've seen a few people kind of call The Wrestler like the perfect companion piece to Black Swan.
Yeah, I buy that a bunch. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit more.
Okay.
We'll see how we go. So another score by Clint Mansell on this one, and he's worked with Aronofsky on every movie he's done apart from Mother, The Whale, and Caught Stealing.
Okay.
So most of his films, and Aronofsky hasn't made that many. I think he's made 8 features to date, and that AI thing that's coming out. I don't know if that's out or what, but it's why I don't understand what it is.
I don't know why any filmmakers are getting themselves involved with AI. I guess because they probably fear that they're going to be out of a job, so they think, oh fuck, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows the thought process behind that. Cast wise in this then, so pretty strong cast. Natalie Portman is playing Nina Sayers. Mila Kunis is playing Lily.
Yep.
Vincent Cassel is playing his character that he plays in every movie.
Thomas. Vincent.
Barbara Hershey is playing Erica, or mother of Natalie Portman's character. And Winona Ryder is Beth,
who has 4 minutes of screen time.
And Jared Leto as Jeffrey Tambor.
No, I think you're confusing that with House of Gucci. Again.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty then, what have you been to? You're not a fan of ballet, you said that up top. Have you ever been to one or seen one? Or do you know much about it?
No, not really. I admire the art form. I think the strength and the discipline that's required is quite something. But I don't... It's funny because I like dance, but ballet leaves me a little bit cold. But then, like I just said, I've never been, so maybe if I go, it'll be life-changing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What about Swan Lake in particular? Because as far as the most I know about Swan Lake is that there was a Barbie movie about it.
Yeah, there was Barbie Swan Lake.
Yeah. That's all and I don't know anything about it. I just know that exists. It's something to do with a swan and possibly a lake.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Yeah. Is it ice skating in that? Is it Swan Lake, but
I've never seen
it's literally a Swan Lake?
I haven't seen it. I imagine they take some liberties.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Barbie kills herself at the end.
No, I would imagine that probably doesn't happen in that children's movie.
Yeah.
But it would explain a lot of the behaviour we're getting from that generation lately. So what do you know about do you know anything about the dance controversy in this film?
The dance controversy?
Yeah.
Oh, I've forgotten her name.
Sarah Lane.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, I did read something about this.
She was Portman's double for the dance moves, and she was a bit pissed when this film came out because I think a lot of the marketing campaign was wrapped around how Portman spent a year training to be a ballet dancer. And she did that.
Yeah.
And she did
and
a
she
lot of
paid
dancing.
for it out of pocket.
And she paid for it out of pocket. Yeah. I'm sure she got reimbursed handsomely.
Yeah, well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So Sarah Lane was kind of pissed because a lot of the campaign was saying, look at Portman, she's done a year dancing and she's as good as a professional ballet dancer. And Sarah Lane was yeah, she did great, but I did a lot of that dancing, and to say that someone can achieve that kind of greatness in a year is sort of a bit disrespectful in a way to the people that spend their entire lives, like the Nina character, for example, studying how to be this perfect dancer. So it's a bit I'm not a fan of that particularly, but
well, I get that, but everybody who worked on the film has sort of doubled down and said that 80% of what you see on screen is Natalie Portman.
No, yeah, I don't doubt that. It would just be nice, and I guess you get a bit of this with the stunt category with the Oscars now, like getting some recognition for that. I would like similar things for doubles, and when it comes to physical things like this, I think would be nice to see that too. And I also as I always say, I'd like to see an accounts category at the Oscars. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
I can't see that happening anytime soon.
It bloody well should.
Well, the campaign starts here, apparently.
Most overlooked department.
I agree. I get to see some of what you experience, and
yeah.
If you weren't doing what you were doing, the productions would grind to a halt. Oscars.
The department is very important. Yes.
Oscars may scoff at that notion, though.
Best spreadsheet, best tracking sheet. Oh yeah. Psychological movie. This psychological horror. Is it a horror? Would you class it as a horror?
I do.
Okay. Based on the body horror stuff we see.
Well, it's definitely a psychological horror movie. I wouldn't say based on the body horror, although, yeah, that does strengthen why I think it belongs in that genre. But I remove all of the body horror, any of the gore, minimal though it is, and it's still a horror movie.
Because of the psychological aspect of it.
Yeah.
I would say that's is that common in Aronofsky's work? Like, would you say that Requiem for a Dream is kind of a psychological horror?
Yeah.
Me too.
It's a horror film in many ways.
Yeah.
And it's quite an effective anti-drugs PSA also.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Yes. No, I enjoy it in that movie, which no one has ever said, that it depicts all of the drug stuff, but it's not necessarily saying that they're bad, I don't think. It's more the reasons that people would go down extreme avenues. I'm not saying that it's promoting drugs in any way.
It's certainly not.
I'm saying that it was an interesting portrayal of people's reasonings for going down paths that they went. Interestingly, in this movie, I think about 2/3 in, the movie's like, go on, Nina, you should do some drugs. And I thought about Requiem
mixed messages, Aronofsky.
Yeah. Yeah, but I find his movies maybe more horrifying than a standard, or certainly a slasher, which is not my thing, as you know, but a horror, like his kind of, because they feel quite grounded, and they're always to do with the psychology of us, of humans, and how that links with body in many ways. And I find that more effective, I think, and it leaves more of an impression on me. So yeah, I would definitely count this as a horror, and definitely fits within his filmography and the kind of themes that he likes to explore as well.
Well, he likes to explore one theme, and that theme is self-destruction.
Yeah.
And we
were talking about this the other day.
He covers it in many different ways, but I think at the heart of all of his films is kind of self-destruction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that right from Pi through Requiem, through The Wrestler, through
all the way to The Whale.
The Fountain, The Whale, Mother I haven't seen. But
yeah, well,
the little I know, it could possibly qualify.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Destruction, certainly.
Yeah.
I didn't love that movie.
Okay, it seems like a weird one. I'm sure I'll get to it eventually.
I just found it an infuriating experience, and honestly, I think you would hate it.
Okay.
But that's not to say don't watch it.
No, maybe I'll get to it at some point. Caught Stealing, I would say, also qualifies in that. No spoilers because it's quite recent, but
it does.
That fits in. Although it's an unusual film, and it does feel like an outlier in his filmography.
Massively. Obviously, we went to see that at the cinema when it came out, and it was fine. But I kept having to remind myself that it was Aronofsky because it's so out of left field for him.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
But like a Guy Ritchie movie that's both pre and post Revolver. like a weird mixture of things and tones, which is why it didn't entirely work for me. So it felt like an outlier, but also, yeah, there are still some similarities there, and he sort of seems to love exploring that idea of self-destruction.
What happened to you, Darren? What trauma are you carrying?
He's definitely one of those filmmakers where I can see a lot of him in it. Although I don't know anything about him really, I feel like I do from the films that I've seen.
Okay.
I just get massive tortured artist vibes from him. And I could be way off base, I don't know. But yeah, it's been funny sort of going through his movies the last few years and catching up with them. I think maybe in the past I wasn't perhaps ready for them, and perhaps some more life experiences made me appreciate them a little bit more, particularly this film in particular, I would say.
Yeah, some maturity definitely helps.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think it was a good fit for this season to have this in Identity?
I think so. What made you choose it?
This keeps coming up, Black Swan, with you and I thought it's nice to get a first time watch on at least one in a season. We've had a couple this season. So that was an aspect. The other point is that it's an Aronofsky, so I'll be able to relate to our previous conversations about him. But that, I think they're the primary reasons. And it was tricky because I knew roughly what this film was about. I didn't know whether it was going down the metaphorical or literal route, which we'll probably get into. But I knew that there was an element of identity, of kind of the dual aspect of that, and exploring that, and I thought it could be quite a good fit. I think honestly I might have initially just Googled it and it came up, and then
movies about identity.
Yeah. And then I thought about it, was like, yeah, actually that probably works, and on reflection I think it is a really good I'm patting myself on the back. I think it was a good one to include actually, because although this season has been quite darker in tone, it might have been nice to mix it up a little bit more. But at the same time, like, I did enjoy watching this, and I'm glad that it's on there. I'm
glad you picked it because it is one of those that I think is a fantastic film, but it was only my second watch, and I'm not sure why that is.
Well, I don't necessarily think Aronofsky films are ones that you put on every year.
Oh no, like it's going to be another decade before I pick up Requiem for a Dream again, and that's going to be because I've forgotten how desolate and depressed it makes me feel by the end.
A lot of the sting of that movie is removed knowing that it's Jared Leto that these horrible things are happening to, though.
Yeah, I feel for the some other of characters. It is Ellen Burstyn.
True. Yeah. But yeah, Identity I thought was a good place for this, and it works. I really enjoy what he's exploring with that, the dualistic nature of that, the idea of leaning into the shadow element, you're getting into the Jungian ideas there as well. So I think it's I don't think you could argue that this was a good fit for the season.
Oh, I could argue anything, but I won't.
You would be wrong.
Devil's advocate, you say?
So Nina's a character. She is a ballet dancer. She's working for this company. You get introduced to her, and she's kind of warming up. You get all of the foot stuff and the nail stuff, and kind of beating her body into shape to become a ballet dancer. And you also get introduced to her relationship with her mother. And there's
perfectly
a weird...
healthy,
yeah.
not codependent.
No, it's fine. It's perfectly normal.
Yep.
Her mum seems to be living vicariously through
Oh,
Nina.
massively.
And there's an element of that show mum, right? Is that the term for that?
Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely sort of when the parent doesn't quite reach their dreams, so they foist that on their child.
Yeah.
Convince the child that that's what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a lot of them can be so pushy that the kids don't really stop and question it until much later in life.
Yeah, if you're not really given a choice and you just go along with it, then you're not going to question it, are you? Until you do.
Yeah, especially if you're talented.
Yeah.
Like if you're good at something. If you're shit, it's easier to stop doing it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's understandable. And that could be that can be a problem, can't it? When you're good at something but you're not passionate about it. But that kind of controlling behavior is abusive, and obviously is a big part of why Nina becomes the thing that she becomes, and the avenues that she goes down. But it's what I was surprised at seeing in this film is the infantilization of Nina by her mother. You know, she's still tucking her in. She's washing her and cutting her nails, and like
completely disregards any boundaries.
Yeah, no boundaries, just coming in and out of the room. It's like that would be inappropriate if it was a 13-year-old, but I imagine that behavior continues to be levied against 13-year-olds way more commonly than it does 26, 27-year-olds, whichever age Nina's meant to be in it.
I had to Google it. I believe she's supposed to be about 28.
Yeah.
Because I'd initially assumed younger based on her mum's treatment of her, the fact that her room's pastel pink and full of teddy bears.
Yeah.
It is she strikes me as very emotionally stunted, but that's been done on purpose, maybe.
Right, on purpose by her mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon there's probably just an element of her mum just doesn't want to let go, because she's letting go of a part of herself, I guess, and she's going to be letting go of her own dream there, because I think there's a very narcissistic character who is obviously controlling and manipulative, and she kind of, everything seems to be about her. Whatever it is, it seems to be about her.
Well, I'm going to bring up a theory. I wasn't going to talk about this until later, but since we're talking about the mother-daughter relationship, I think it's relevant. I'm going to make things really dark.
I would expect no less.
So, I massive shout out to a YouTube channel called Cinema Nostalgica. I watched a half-an-hour video this morning called Nina's Mum is a Predator, and it was quite eye-opening. I don't believe it's their theory. It is quite a popular fan theory that her mum is, at least on some level, abusive to her.
100%, yeah.
But this specific theory suggests sexual abuse. And watching this video, I was like, holy cow, how did this not occur to me? Because it's all backed up. And I will touch on that when we get to it. But yeah, that was quite an interesting watch.
Okay. That's not something that I thought about when watching it. Abuse, yes, but that nature that didn't occur to me at all, really.
No, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I suppose so. When you think, because of the kind of the repressive nature of her sexuality that we come to learn throughout the film.
Yeah. There's definitely some Arrested Development going on there.
Yeah.
But we're not sure why.
The whole time.
I don't care for Job. Yeah, I think, I mean, it's sort of implied that she doesn't really have any healthy attitude towards sex. She's called frigid at several points, but also whore, which is really confusing.
Sounds about right, to be honest.
Well,
not that that's right. That people would say that, and it's wrong.
Yeah, and also there's the massive hint that she's potentially never kind of climaxed before or has trouble, which again we'll talk about when we get to that part of the film.
Okay.
Sorry to make it dark so soon.
This film is not a laugh riot.
No.
So we're bound to touch on some dark things.
And I'd just like to remind you that you chose this one.
I did.
It's unusual for you.
No, I take the heat for this one for sure. Do you think that because obviously the mum is trying to control Nina constantly, and then in turn I feel like Nina that is then trying to control everything else. Perhaps not just because of that, but I feel like the way that Thomas describes her dancing, very controlled, like it's perfect. It's like mathematically perfect, and she's making all the right moves, but it lacks the passion and the expression that you want with art, I guess. So like she has that control over her body. There's the eating thing, bulimia. That can sometimes be.
I would say more anorexia in this case.
Okay.
I know that Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis both dropped about 20 pounds in order to play the characters because ballerinas are very thin.
Yeah.
But there is definitely the suggestion there that she has issues around food too.
There's some kind of eating disorder there, and I wondered if that fed into the control element as well. Possibly not. It's not an area that I know anything about, really.
Well, that and the whole potential childhood trauma.
Yeah. And she has maybe linking into controlling her dance and stuff, like links in with her mind. We keep mentioning that Aronofsky is interested in exploring the relationship between mind and body, and I think perhaps that she's trying to maintain a like heavy control over her emotions, and she certainly represses a lot, obviously, which is the whole point of the film, is her becoming the Black Swan, or a shadow self. But I guess, yeah, I just see lots of areas where I feel like she's trying to maintain some sort of grip and control on everything, whereas really sometimes she should just let go and listen to that subconscious side of her that's never in control, but probably sometimes should be.
Well, I think that's sort of an interesting way to tie it into the theme of the season as well, because something that I found myself thinking while watching this is that Nina sort of is a bit of a void.
Yeah.
Like she's almost the absence of an identity. And that kind of extends to her clinical, mechanical dancing, as you said. Like
she's hitting the beats, but she's not quite getting there expressively.
Yeah, like she's technically perfect, but that's all it is. And I think that sort of ties into the theme really nicely, because throughout the film you could argue that she is developing an identity for herself.
Yeah, and it's a transformation. She's kind of becoming something else, isn't she, throughout the movie? And I did hear somewhere that Aronofsky was very interested in trying to put a new spin on the kind of the werewolf situation.
Oh, interesting.
But with a swan.
A were-swan.
Natural choice, yeah. I'd also heard that somewhere he wanted to merge the ideas of a wrestler and a ballet dancer. Obviously, the wrestler came out before Black Swan, but I wonder if perhaps the Marissa Tomei character in The Wrestler was originally meant to be a ballet dancer.
Maybe. I did read something similar, actually, because I heard that Black Swan took about a decade to make. Like the script was floating around for a long time before the film actually got made.
I had to get the rights off Barbie.
Yeah. And that, yeah, he did initially want to do a film about a wrestler and a ballet dancer. Not the same person. Two separate people. Yeah, that would have been weird.
Ricky Mork? He's called Ricky Mork now, isn't he?
Mickey Rourke was what he looked like in the 80s. Now he's Ricky Mork.
Yeah.
Post-surgery. Yeah, I'm glad he made two separate films. I think he decided definitely. That it was just too much for one movie.
I initially, when I first saw Marissa Tomei in The Wrestler when we watched it the other night, I did kind of think to me, oh, this is a bit of a cliche, not to be too specific in that movie. But I did enjoy the relationship between what she's going through and what the wrestler, Ram, what his character is also going through. And there's a parallel there. And you can see that carry through, or that would also be present if it was a ballet dancer, that kind of the loss that those characters are going through and how they rely on certain things that they're losing. But how do you think in this movie, how do you think that Nina relates to the other characters in this? We've spoken a little bit about her mother already, and there must be some pretty severe resentment there that I'm guessing she's repressing. and comes out in some anger towards the third act of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's some pity there, perhaps, that she didn't achieve what she wanted to achieve.
Yeah, she makes that comment at one point when her mum's talking about her career, and Nina kind of snaps, "What career?"
Yeah.
Or something to that effect, anyway.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something simmering there.
Mm. What about a relationship to Lily? Because we were introduced to Lily's actor name is Mila Kunis. I said it earlier. Mila Kunis comes in, and immediately when she walks into the dance studio, Nina is distracted, and she sits dressed in black, incidentally.
Mm-hmm.
But Nina doesn't care for Lily, and she feels threatened by her. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a certain amount of jealousy there, maybe.
I think that too.
A little bit of envy.
I think Nina wants to be Lily, because particularly Tom R keeps saying, this is what you need to be. You need to be the black swan. You need to be passionate and let go a bit. I think that she also resents Lily, and she's also jealous, and because she wants to be her. And again, like, she wants to be her and she hates her for it. What about Beth? Because Winona Ryder's in this movie, and I had no idea that she was in it.
And even when you saw her, you didn't know it was Winona Ryder.
I thought it was Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You were like, oh, it's her again. I was like, that's Winona Ryder. But you do have a certain element of face blindness.
Which I think actually added to my enjoyment of this film.
Really?
Because when Winona Ryder came out and I thought, well, that's Natalie Portman, I had an idea that we were going to be doing this sort of thing in the film, like mistaken identity, or who is she?
I don't think it's a coincidence that they look alike.
No, not at all.
It's
and
interesting.
Even Kunis as well.
Well, what's interesting to me is that Natalie Portman, Winona Ryder, and Barbara Hershey, I think, look quite similar, albeit there's an age difference. I think Mila Kunis and Natalie Portman, ironically, look less alike. But yeah, I think that's intentional. All the women are supposed to look fairly similar.
Yeah, and I think it definitely added to my enjoyment of it as well. Because every face that appeared, I'm like, is that Natalie Portman?
Vincent Cassel walks in. Is that Natalie Portman?
No, I was never in any danger of assuming that Vincent Cassel was Natalie Portman, because every time he appeared on screen, you went, Vincent! So it's fine. Lucky I've got you in my corner.
You're welcome.
I think that Nina fears Beth. I think it's interesting because I think that Nina has probably always looked up to Beth, probably, and she's always been this figure to aspire to. I want to get where she is at some point, and the closer she's getting to it, the more she kind of sees the issues with it, I guess. And she maybe sees her future having a similar outcome to Beth, and she doesn't want to see that either. She does go to the hospital that time, but she stabs Beth in the face, which is obviously what we often use to identify people. So there's something there, I think. She imagines that. She does that.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I have notes about that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely get the impression that she's kind of revered this person for a long time, wants what she has. And then when she, as you say, gets closer to getting it, sees that Beth is not happy, she's actually quite miserable to the point of attempting suicide, potentially.
So we're led to believe.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's where her mind starts to fracture a little bit, because she's like, oh shit. She had what I want and it didn't fulfill her.
It didn't work. It didn't fix her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she does sort of look to ballet, and particularly this performance, as like the be all and end all. And if she doesn't have that, then what's she got?
Yeah.
An abusive home life. That's it. A bunch of teddy bears that she shoves down a laundry chute.
Yeah.
It's not a fun life. What about her relationship with Vincent Cassel's character?
Ooh, that's a funny one, isn't it? Because he is he's an unpleasant man. But does she... Well, number one, does Natalie Portman recognise that? I guess...
I think so. I think she starts to.
Yeah. And if she does, we assume she does is there an element of, well, he gets results, which is what made me think of Whiplash, because have you seen Whiplash?
Yeah.
There's a very, obviously the big thing in that movie is J.K. Simmons is an arsehole, he gets results, what do you think about that? And obviously the answer is don't be a bellend.
Unless it's to Miles Teller.
Unless it's to Miles.
In which case it's encouraged.
Yeah, but not to Portman.
No.
Yeah, he's a total shitbag. But I think she's accepting of it because of what it means to work for his company.
Yeah. I'm confused as to what his ultimate motives are. Like when he I was about to say when he kisses her, when he kind of assaults her
a couple of times.
His office. Well, the first time when she's kind of dolled herself up and she's asking if she can have the part and he forces himself on her and then she bites him. Obviously, that is the catalyst for him actually casting her as the Swan Queen because he's like, maybe she does have a darker side. She can stand up for herself.
She's shown some bites.
Yeah. But was he doing that because he found her sexually attractive, or was he doing that because he wanted a reaction out of her? Either way, it's not ideal. But I did sort of ask myself, and I don't have an answer.
No, I think it's interesting that it's intentional, I think, to show the two sides of that. My thought is that he's just a sex pest. And he's
just because he's French, that's very xenophobic.
I did not say that. But he justifies it to himself, and thereby other people justify it because of the results.
Well, I think it's like a lot of cases of people in power. Yeah. Like if they're getting results, if they're good at what they do, then a lot of people turn a blind eye to the more problematic stuff.
Which shouldn't be the case.
Well, no, it's not. But
just because you're good at art, I don't think gives you the right to abuse people.
No, of course not.
I was thinking of Stanley Kubrick a little bit, and the way that some of the methods he used, which were completely unnecessary, and but it's an interesting thing to think about, isn't it? Because it's not like I think it's more black and white maybe than you would think. Don't be a cunt to people. but
that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, but there is something to be discussed there, I guess. Like you need to push people, but not to a point where it's abusive and damaging. You want to push people and motivate them, but not in a bad way. But it's sometimes, I guess, might be hard to know what that is. But I know for certain that it's not by grabbing someone's pussy, which is what Vincent Cassel does.
Yeah, it's a safe bet. Just don't do that. Don't do that. Especially in a professional setting, don't do that.
Don't do it if you own a ballet company. Don't do it if you're the president.
Agreed. Just don't do it.
Yeah, that extends to everybody. Yeah.
Interestingly, you just used the term black and white.
I thought you was going to say you just used the term pussy. Which I don't think I said on this.
You also did that. You also did that. But I want to talk about black and white. The colour in this movie I found really interesting. Well, just the way it looks in general. I mean, you can see that tasty film grain.
Yeah, shot on 16mm, completely on purpose. Obviously, you didn't accidentally shoot it on 16mm.
Oh no! I've done it again.
Yeah.
I don't think Darren Aronofsky at that point in his career was mistaking that for digital.
No.
But yeah, just the way it looks is really interesting. I think that it gives it a cinematic quality that I think some of the handheld footage would otherwise undermine.
Yeah, it's sort of I like what he did with The Wrestler. There's the sort of the documentary feel with that. This is something slightly different, but it's still got like a nice he's still using techniques in an interesting way.
I like the handheld stuff because there's that sense of immediacy. Like again, he did it a lot in The Wrestler, where he sort of does following shots. Yeah,
and he's in and amongst the wrestling scenes as well, and he's amongst a lot of the ballet scenes, I'm guessing, or whoever's on the camera.
Yeah, and it's definitely quite an immersive technique that I do enjoy, but not terribly cinematic. But in his hands, it kind of works.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. But yeah, the colours in this movie, it is quite a desaturated film, save for a handful of scenes, I would say. it's no surprise that Natalie Portman's character dresses in mostly whites or pastels. I think pastel pink is in there at some point. And then at the midway point of the film, she's literally wearing grey. And then that kind of progresses little by little. There's the club scene where Lily kind of lends her a black top that she puts on underneath. And then by the end, obviously, she's all in black. And you mentioned already, Lily's wearing black. There isn't much colour in the film at all. And a lot of kind of the colour theory stuff is quite brazen, quite obvious. So I'm not really adding much to the conversation. But I did think it interesting that the apartment that she shares with her mother is mostly green. Or there's a lot of green in the apartment as well, which, as we've already discussed, kind of signifies envy or jealousy, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Her room is pink, which kind of suggests virtue, purity, femininity. Adolescence, yeah. Or even childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed that sort of stuff. It was quite brazen, as I say, but I did enjoy it.
It's not very subtle.
No.
But I don't, like we've said many times, like we spoke about in probably the most unsubtle movie ever made, The Substance.
This movie has quite a lot in common with The Substance, you know. I
think so.
Weirdly, and not just because, obviously, as we mentioned at the end of that show, this was one of another handful of horror movies that's ever been nominated for Best Picture.
This was The Substance was the 7th,
and this was the 5th, I think.
Get Out was the 6th.
Yes. Yeah, because that won, didn't it?
Did I know? It won screenplay, I think.
Oh, did it? Was it screenplay?
Yeah.
The Academy thought, oh, we'll throw horror a bone this year.
We'll nominate it.
Yeah.
It's not going to get it, is it? Obviously.
Oh dear. But yeah, even the Vincent Cassel could be seen as like a version of Dennis Quaid's character.
100%.
He retires the older female dancer and replaces her with a younger counterpart. We don't see him eating though, which is a blessing.
Yeah. No, no 1,500 pounds of shrimp being shoveled into her face in this one. Thank the Lord.
It's pleasant. It's pleasant.
I thought about the colour, but only in relation to the black and white, really.
I mean, even the poster's very like stark black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, and more of the transitional aspects of going from the white to the grey to the black, and obviously going from white swan to black swan. It's not subtle, as you say, but it is nice. Sometimes an unsubtle movie makes me feel a little bit more brighter, so that's nice. But it's interesting that we're talking about the black and white stuff in a movie, and a filmmaker, Aronofsky, likes to explore the grey areas quite a lot, I think. So it's maybe interesting that we're talking about the black and white area of it.
How do you feel about the effects work in this film?
Oh yeah, good. I enjoyed all of the painful body stuff. Oh, great, God. Thank you. Well, we have nail stuff. Was there a tooth stuff?
The nail stuff is... I don't remember any tooth stuff. I don't remember any, but maybe you were trying to block it out. Yeah, it's entirely possible. The nail stuff.
Repress it.
Oh, the nail stuff.
Yeah,
I can't stand it. I know some of it is just the reality of being a ballerina. Like I know when they dance on point and they have to break in the shoes, like a lot of them do lose nails.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard on the body.
It looks like hard work to me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and I enjoyed seeing that aspect of it. Putting your body through such a brutal thing, and why? Because you're trying to aspire to be perfect at your chosen art. Yeah, that was interesting. And the later on, obviously, our feet begin to fuse together in a scene.
Oh, the web toes.
Definitely happening in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was obviously CGI, but it worked.
So I've got an interesting point about the nail clipping. Obviously the scene where her mum is cutting her nails, horrendous, by the way. That, like, nothing makes me sit on the edge of my seat and cover my eyes like stuff to do with nails or teeth.
Yeah, you're not a fan of tooths, are you?
Oh, but nail stuff. I've lost a nail completely and had to pull it out from the bed before, and it hurt.
Oh.
It hurt quite a lot. and I nearly passed out because it was just squishy and fleshy and horrible underneath.
Oh.
So
Stop it.
I'm so sorry. I'm not really. But because I've had that experience, I think anything to do with nails, and particularly nails being cut too short and kind of cutting yourself on the quick. Oh, yeah, that is
when
unpleasant.
You have those experiences like that, you get, and you see those similar things on screen, it does take you back to that area, doesn't it? So I can see why you're more sensitive to that after explaining. Now I'm going to be more sensitive to that. Imagining your scenario. Thanks. But I like, all of that stuff was really good and interesting, like how your mental state is affecting your physical self.
I just thought
you're putting your body through it, and you're making it suffer, and why?
I just thought it was especially interesting that it was nails and that her mum was the one cutting her nails, because you could kind of see that as a bit of a clipping her wings moment.
Yeah. And so violently as well.
Yeah.
Like I felt like she's going to whip off a finger in a minute. Slow down.
Yeah. But something that I discovered doing my last minute research this morning was that fingernails and feathers are both 90% keratin.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Right. So you could... The wing clipping her wings, like you say. Yeah, interesting.
And I kind of love that reading.
Yeah.
And I just don't imagine that was happenstance.
No, I don't feel that way. And you get a lot of transformational stuff in this. With you see the bumps appearing on her.
Oh, like the weird
skin.
sort of chicken skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at one point, her knees bend the opposite direction, like an ostrich.
I hated that.
Yeah.
Some of the bits when she's got like the spines of feathers poking through the skin on her shoulder, apparently that was influenced by The Fly, which is something else that this film has in common with The Substance. Which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, he keeps coming up this season, doesn't he, old crony Cronenberg?
Oh, I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. Not from a season that you chose.
No, this, like I say, shut your eyes. You could have been forgiven to think this is one of your seasons.
Yeah. Apart from Batman.
Apart from Batman, yeah. And the one that's at the end, maybe.
I don't know.
I know you like it.
Yeah.
But it's a me movie.
It is a you movie.
But we'll get to that in 2 episodes' time. And then obviously the other part of it is the one in the final act where she is doing the pirouette. She's like pirouette until you become literally a swan. She's spinning and spinning and spinning, and then I love the way that the feathers just slowly come out with every spin. They come further and further out, and that image is something that I've thought about quite a lot since we watched it.
Really?
Yeah, and I just thought it was just a very good looking, an interesting image. You know, I guess one of the things that I would say about Aronofsky is there are certain images in every one of his films that stick with me. There's obviously one or two. There's 2 in Requiem for a Dream. One of them has Jennifer Connelly, which is it keeps me up at night, honestly, and not in a good way. The Wrestler, the final shot in that is going to be something that sticks with me, I think. And it's the same in this. I think with that transformational element at that point is something I think I'll always remember in this film.
Question: would you ever have sex with somebody who looked a lot like you? And is that the ultimate narcissism?
No, I don't think I would. And yes, I think it probably is the ultimate narcissism.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that this week.
You've put a lot of thought into that, have you?
It reminded me of that episode of Broad City where Ilana Glazer is dating Alia Shawkat.
Oh, yeah. And they can't see it. And then when they see it, they're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kind of has that epiphany about how she wants to date people who are different from her, different genders, different ethnicities, you know, that it's too weird. I don't know. It really called back to that. But as we touched on earlier, I want to come back to that scene.
Yeah.
So we know as the audience that Nina does not have sex with Lily.
We do, yes. Yeah, one of the few times we were explicitly told that did not happen.
Yeah.
Or did it?
I don't think it did.
Or did it?
I don't think it did. Don't do it again.
What did it?
I don't think it did. Because, well, obviously Lily kind of calls her out as being delusional. But there are a lot of other signs that sort of point to her mom being a predator, as I talked about. Specifically, the fact that by that point, Nina is sort of trying to reclaim some autonomy and put a little bit of distance between her and her mother in terms of trying to express some boundaries, even if that's kind of shoving the laundry basket in front of the bathroom door so her mum can't just barge in, or using that pole that she found.
Yeah, like a broom or something to prop that door shut.
To keep the door shut so her mum can't burst in without, you know.
It's like very teenager.
It is.
Stuff when you've got an overbearing parent.
Yeah. Oh my God. Barbara Hershey putting the mother in smother.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, that there is that element of well, you're just not sure what happens. But having watched this video and read into this theory, I am inclined to side with the fact that the mum is a predator. Specifically in that scene, she sees Mila Kunis, and then she kind of goes a little bit woozy or whatever, and then she looks down again, and the face is like a composite of all three of them. But her mum is in there. And just the fact that why would her subconscious be imagining her mum in that sort of a scenario, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And also in the morning, she goes to the door, notices that the bar isn't there.
Yeah.
So the door's been open all night. Her mum had, you know, full access to the bedroom. There's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's after that, it's the morning after that she throws away all her teddies because they were all sort of facing the bed. And I think she sort of maybe feels a little bit dirty and gets rid of them. That, and it's kind of a symbolic sort of ditching of childhood, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a grown up now.
But I don't know. How do you feel about that theory?
It's not something that I thought about, and
I didn't at the time.
It's probably something that I would have given more thought to had I thought about it. It's an interesting theory. I
think her mum consistently calls her sweet girl throughout the film as well, and that's something Lily calls her in the bedroom.
Cassel calls Thomas calls Beth
little princess, is it?
Yeah. So there's that infantilization that is also
definitely running through
as a term of endearment, or could be misconstrued as that. Yeah. But it's interesting that obviously things don't happen the way that they're presented in this film, I guess.
Yeah,
it's Nina is how things could have happened, but not in the way that they were presented.
She's the ultimate like unreliable narrator.
Yeah, and I guess none of the transformation stuff happens in this film. It's all imagined, isn't it? We're quite explicitly. I might have enjoyed it a little bit more if it was maybe a bit more ambiguous, perhaps. I did like all that stuff, but the fact that she's losing her mind and it's all psychological and there's not really any question of that. There are questions about what scenes actually happened and didn't happen. But...
Yeah. So coming back to that.
Yeah.
Do you think she killed Beth in the hospital?
No.
You don't?
No, because where's the old bill? They don't have jurisdiction in ballet schools.
Yeah.
They have special ballet police, and I haven't gotten to it yet because their desk is full with cases. They're still working on that Suspiria case.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think she did.
Okay.
I think she murdered Beth.
You think she murdered Beth in the hospital? In the hospital. By stabbing her in the face and then walked out of the hospital?
Well, we see Beth stabbing herself in the face once Nina puts the nail file down, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm confusing this because what we see is Beth stabbing herself in the face, but then when she gets in the elevator, she's holding the bloody knife.
She's got the nail file and her hands are covered in blood. Yeah,
that's right. And that's why you think that possibly she did do it. I'm guessing.
I think she did. I think she killed her.
Do you?
Yeah. I think she'd lost grip on reality to the point where I don't know, maybe she saw it as a mercy killing because she knew Beth was so miserable. Maybe she saw it as finally ridding herself of what she saw as competition, so that she could take up the mantle. I don't know, but I do think it's interesting that we don't get a definitive answer. What do you think about the final act then?
I really liked it. It was good.
Cool.
It was good. I really liked it.
End of podcast.
No, I did like it. I liked how it led up to the final act, and then a lot of the moving parts were introduced in the first two, and then I felt like the third act really sang. Like when we get into the show, I loved that final act, like the way that it just flowed all the way through. And something we spoke about with Requiem for a Dream is that I think you mentioned about him, Aronofsky, being a fan of constructing his films like a piece of music. I felt that with this very much as well. And obviously you've got all of the traditional kind of ballet and Swan Lake music running in and out of this. But then when we get to the third act and you see the transformation happening, I was fully on board with that. And I really, really enjoyed it. The first 2/3, I was kind of not on the fence. I was enjoying it, but I really liked that last part. I thought it really justified everything else that had come before it. And like we were discussing earlier, it's one of those where I probably should have watched this a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It is a good film, isn't it?
You've waited 16 years.
I waited a long time,
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. I think it's a really, really strong film, but I do think it's elevated by that climax.
Yeah.
I think the choreography is great. Apparently the choreography is so good that Natalie Portman married the choreographer, who's also in the film, I believe.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, when Vincent Cassel sort of gestures to her and said, "Would you fuck this girl?" her husband is the guy that says no.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
That's some very good acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy the choreography. I thought not just the dance choreography, kind of the choreographic movements of the camera as well, like the way that the camera almost feels a part of the performance in some regards.
It
like
does.
Sometimes you're in front, sometimes you're behind. I don't know, I enjoyed that.
It feels like it's a part of it, and it makes you feel like you're a part of it as well, because it's up and amongst the dance there. And yeah, obviously I don't know anything about dance and choreography. Quite difficult from what I understand.
Yeah. It's a piece of piss. We'd all be doing it.
But then to factor into that someone's got to shoot it as well. And because you've also got to bear in mind where the camera's going to be. Are they going to be in focus? Not only is the person dancing and moving around, particularly when it's like ballet and she's moving all around the stage, the camera's also got to move around. That must be quite tricky, logistically speaking, to do that. And it looks great. And I found it very immersive.
I think the whole film has this weird sort of immediacy that feels like you're in it in a way.
Yeah, it does. And it sort of, it gives it like an urgent quality to me as well. Like because I find it so immersive and psychologically interesting, it really forces me to reflect on my psychological normalcy.
Yeah, because you're so normal.
Yeah.
Totally normal brain.
But it did force me to think about things in a way that I don't often interact with films in that way, which is something I'm coming to appreciate about Aronofsky's films.
Okay.
So yeah, I did it. I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed this movie very much. Don't know if it's my favourite Aronofsky, but it's probably up there, I would say.
What do you think it is?
I think it might be The Wrestler, after having watched it the other day.
Wow.
I don't know. I was sort of, when we watched it, I wasn't sure. I think all of the movies of his that we've seen together, I think, are pretty close in terms of quality and objective quality anyway. But I think for me, The Wrestler, it's about a disenfranchised man, isn't it? And as we've established, that's all I like to watch.
Yep.
I think The Wrestler is a beautiful film, and I also don't think it's that depressing. Not going to spoil it. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I have heard that people do find it some people do find it quite depressing, which is quite a regular response to an Aronofsky
I think it is.
movie.
I think it's quite tragic.
I find it to be both tragic and hopeful, and therein lies the kind of the realness of it. And the final shot of that, I'm kind of like, this is tragic, but fair play, like you are. I don't really dancing around. Fuck it, it's an old movie. Who cares? I find that the ending of that movie to be both tragic and hopeful, because he's kind of realised where he is, where he's been, and what lies ahead of him, and he's just accepting it, and he's enjoying this thing that he's got right now, because that's all he's got. And what more can you do? And it's
go be with Marissa Tomei.
Well, I mean, yeah, that obviously
that would be my choice.
I think it would be everyone's choice in reality.
Go thrift shopping with Marissa again.
Yeah.
Get beers and listen to 80s music. That sounds fun as shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think it's that. I keep thinking about that movie since we watched it, and it was only a few days ago. I was very blown away by the fountain when I watched it, but I almost feel like I need to rewatch it again. I don't know. But I think probably The Wrestler at this point.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Aronofsky movie? I'm going to ask you two questions. What's your favourite, and then what's the one that you would return to?
Oh, that's good, because my favourite is Requiem. Return to, not Requiem. I don't care to I don't get depressed by depressing movies in the same way that a lot of people do.
No, you don't.
I don't tend to take those feelings away with me once I've finished watching, which is good.
Yeah.
That I can compartmentalize that.
I would say that's a healthy relationship.
But at the same time, I don't care to return to that film very often. I've only seen it about 3 times ever. And that's enough. That's fine for now.
I'd say that's enough. That's a lifetime as well.
Yeah. One that I would return to.
Yeah.
That might be The Wrestler.
Oh, it's The Wrestler.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so.
I think I'd agree. I think The Wrestler might be my favourite, and also the one that I would probably return to more often.
I think Black Swan is excellent.
I agree.
But I think I would rather watch The Wrestler. And see, I'm thinking about it. They've both got really wincy moments that I don't enjoy.
Yep.
But I think Black Swan pips it. I don't want to be hiding my face. I don't want to be sitting on my hands because I'm worried about my nails.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, probably The Wrestler. But it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, all of the movies of his that I've seen are pretty close, I think, in terms of
apart from
quality.
Caught Stealing.
Apart from Caught Stealing, which I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's not something that I'm going to be returning to probably. But yeah. And The Whale was fine. It was all right.
I didn't like that very much.
I guess I'm more there for Brendan Fraser than I am Aronofsky with that particular.
Well, that was his big comeback, wasn't it?
It was his big comeback, and it was just I love Brendan Fraser. He's great, and I've missed him, so I'm glad that he's back now.
Linkovich.
Yes.
Linkovich Chomsky returns.
Reboot of California Man, please.
No, not a reboot. A legacy sequel.
Yeah. Bring back Pauly Shore. Bring back
Sean Astin.
Yeah, get them all back.
I'd love that.
I think that should happen.
What's Megan Ward doing these days? Call them all up.
Get on it, Hollywood people, please.
It will never happen.
I don't think it will it?
We can hope.
It was a cult favourite, I think. Everyone buys it on big box VHS now. Or is that just us?
It might just be us. Going back to Aronofsky as a person, we talked briefly about his experiments with AI recently, which has rattled a few people. Understandably, I don't enjoy that choice at all. I think it's maybe gonna bite him in the bum, or maybe he already has.
He probably doesn't care. That's the impression I get.
But also, he's been criticised a little bit for Black Swan because it bears some resemblance to an anime called Perfect Blue.
I've heard this, yeah.
I've never seen Perfect Blue, so I can't speak to how similar the story is, but I think visually there are a lot of similarities, so I've heard. And Aronofsky's denied that he took any inspiration from it.
Okay.
But he also owns the rights to a potential remake of it, which is curious. And he has maybe cited the director in the past as being like an overall influence. So it's weird that he would deny it.
Yeah.
When all signs point to some potential cribbing.
Yeah, I mean, if he was inspired by the director, then you are also kind of inspired by that movie. So I don't really get what he's saying. You either are or you aren't, and I think you quite clearly are. So it's weird that he would deny that.
I agree. I think it's super weird. Yeah. I think it's, from what I've read, it seems pretty cut and dry. But obviously less so than maybe Christopher Nolan stealing Paprika whole and turning it into Inception, which I wish we'd talked about in the Inception show.
You think that he could afford to buy Paprika, wouldn't you? It's not expensive.
Oh, Dan.
It's like £1 from Aldi. It lasts you a year. And that's if you eat paprika every day.
But I don't know a great deal more about him as a person.
No, me neither.
But those couple of things kind of rubbed me up the wrong way, so I'm side-eyeing him a little bit, maybe.
I know he dated Rachel Weisz. I know he dated...
Did he?
Jennifer Lawrence.
How did he pull that off?
Tortured artist, Sarah.
Good Lord. And all these incels are just sat around thinking they've got to get buff. No, just be interesting.
You got to have a bicep the size of a hard hat, and you've got to drive a Lambo.
Apparently,
and then what happens is every time you drive past a woman, her clothes disintegrate because those two things combined, it creates like a chemical reaction, and then you're able to sleep with them. Yeah,
but if you don't have either of those things, then never fear, because there's some dude bro on the internet willing to sell you a course to tell you how to get them.
You can do a course, yeah. And it costs you £500 a month.
Yeah.
And
your soul.
And your any ounce of intellect that you might have as well. That will also be gone after that, doing that. So Black Swan.
Final question.
Yes, go on, go for it.
Does she die? Does Nina die?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Agreed.
I kind of knew, I guess, that she hadn't killed Lily. It wasn't a question for me when she locked her in. She sort of just drags the body into the bathroom, and
body's been dragged into bathrooms. Something else has got in common with the substance.
Yeah, it's been a strong season for dragging bodies into bathrooms, hasn't it? That added obviously to the tension of that final act as well, and the fact that she thinks that she has killed Lily, but still wants to carry on with the show. And then when she finds out that she actually stabbed herself with a reflective surface.
I can't believe we haven't even talked about the reflective. There's literally about 3 scenes in this. I think it's just the scenes on stages that don't have a reflective surface. That's one of the first notes that I made, and I completely glossed over it.
Yeah.
What an idiot. But literally, as soon as I started watching this, I was just like, everything's a reflection.
Yeah, there's lots of reflections, and they're doing lots of things with double images. There's a thing early on where Thomas is talking about, I think, Swan Lake, and then you see, where they have the floor to ceiling mirrors, and there's like a join, and then the shot is facing that, so you see 2 halves of his character as well. So that's
they really hammer home the theme of duality.
This film is about duality, duality of identity.
The duality of man.
How one could not live without the other, and all of that stuff. Yeah.
We've all got a dark side.
Yeah. Yeah, so says Carl.
I think, for the record, Aronofsky also thinks that she dies.
Okay.
Apparently,
I think he's right.
He's been quoted as saying that he always intends for his protagonists to die at the end.
Oh, yeah?
Massive spoiler for all Aronofsky movies.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess so.
Because a lot's been said about the end of The Wrestler as well. But
yeah, that's kind of ambiguous.
He doesn't seem to like his protagonists very much. He puts them through hell and then kills them. Maybe that's part of the whole tortured artist thing.
Yeah, I think so.
That's his therapy.
I think it must be. Must be. Probably cheaper to just get a therapist.
Just go to actual therapy.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have these movies.
We wouldn't have these movies. And I think this might be his most successful movie,
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is on lists up and down, isn't it? Just like 50 films you have to see before you die, or it's probably in the IMDb top 100.
This is the Aronofsky movie that everyone's mum has seen.
Yes.
Isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I don't mean that literally. I just mean, like, obviously there was a lot of Oscar buzz around it. There was a lot around a marketing campaign of Portman, which we touched on earlier.
A lot of people think it's a career best performance for her.
And I would agree, I think.
Yeah.
Better than Star Wars.
Yeah. I think everybody's pretty great in this, though.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So 2 thumbs up?
Yep.
2 wings up?
2 wings up.
Cool.
Yeah, loved it.
Excellent. I wasn't sure which way that was going to go, you know. I thought you would get something out of it, but I didn't necessarily think we'd end the show by you saying you loved it.
Yeah, no, very good. Loved it.
Great.
I wish I'd seen it earlier. And
will you buy it?
Maybe. Do we own it?
No.
We don't own it at all?
No. Maybe
I buy it then. Maybe I get an Aronofsky box set. Maybe get that and The Wrestler.
Ooh. Okay.
And then take out Requiem for a Dream.
Post it through somebody else's letterbox at random.
Send it to Jared Leto. That's what we should do. We should buy every copy of Requiem for a Dream, send it to Jared Leto. I ain't got that much money.
No. If we're ever in the
Sponsor
vicinity of him, just hand them to him and he'll assume we want an autograph and we'll say, no, just returning it.
Away. Yeah, just return it. Yeah. Right, so Black Swan, done. Do you want to know what we're doing next week, Sarah?
I know what we're doing next week.
Do you? Go on, do you want to
We're doing a story about a disenfranchised man. Because of course we are.
Also played by Christian Bale again. What are we doing then?
We're doing American Psycho.
Oh, I fucking love this movie.
We've never watched it together.
I know.
I can't wait.